everyone, my name is Rainissa Azizah, but you can just call me Rai or Nisa. It's short, simple, and easy to remember. Most of my friends call me that, and I think it sounds friendly too. I was born and raised in Bandung, so I've lived here my whole life. I'm the youngest from two siblings, and Bandung is a very lively city with lots of interesting places, and I really enjoy growing up here. Now, let me tell you a bit about my education background. I started school at SDN 261 Margahayu Raya Elementary School, where I built my first friend. Then I continued to junior high school at Alkenzi, which was the time when I got more active in extracurricular activity like joining English club. After that, I went to senior high school at SMA Negeri 21 Bandung. That was a really important time for me because it's when I started seriously thinking about my future and what major I'd take in college. Back in high school, I realized that I was interested in food science and technology, but now I am majoring in computer science at Politeknik Negeri Bandung. When it comes to my competencies or skills, to be honest, I'm still figuring that out. I can't say I'm already an expert in something, but I know I enjoy learning new things and I try to adapt quickly in different situations. Maybe those are my simple strengths for now, and I'm still developing my skill as I continue my studies. For my future career, honestly, I don't have a very clear picture yet. I'm still figuring things out and I exploring different options, but I think that's totally fine since college is the right time to learn, try new experiences and see where I really belong. And outside of college, I also have hobbies that make me happy. Usually, when I have free time, I like to watch movies or listen to music. It helps me relax, refreshes my mind, and sometimes even gives me new ideas for studying. For me, hobbies are important because they balance out my serious daily routine with time for fun and creativity. I'd like to talk about one of the most inspiring figures in Indonesian history, Raden Ajeng Kartini. She is well known as a national heroine who fought for women's rights in Indonesia. Kartini was born on April 21, 1879 in Jepara, Central Java, and passed away in 1904 at a very young age, only 25 years old. Even though her life was short, her ideas and struggles had a huge impact on the future of Indonesian women. If we talk about her appearance, Kartini was often described as a graceful Javanese woman. She had a soft and calm face with sharp eyes that showed both confidence and kindness. Her skin was naturally tan, just like many Japanese women. She had long, thick black hair that she usually tied in a neat bun, and she usually wore a kabaya following the Japanese tradition. She looked simple but still had a strong and confident aura. The plus side of Kartini is her courage and vision. She bravely spoke up about women's rights to get education, something that was very rare at that time. She believed women should not only stay at home, but also have the opportunity to learn, grow, and contribute to society. Her way of thinking was way ahead of her time. Kartini was also just a human with weaknesses. In many of her letters, she sometimes felt hopeless and trapped by the strict traditions and colonial system. She could be quite pessimistic about her own future. Besides that, her bold criticism of Japanese feudal culture made some people think she was too rebellious. Kartini's thoughts were very modern and inspiring, even though she lived more than 100 years ago. What made Kartini truly interesting was not just her ideas, but the unique charm in her personality. She had a strong intellectual presence. She loved reading, writing, and exchanging letters in Dutch, which showed how curious and open minded she was. At the same time, she had the courage to speak out against unfair traditions, but she always did it with grace and dignity. This balance of bravery and elegance gave her a natural charisma that inspired people around her. Let me tell you about an umbrella. First of all, if we talk about its category, an umbrella is basically a furniture or daily tool. It's something people use almost every day, especially when the weather is not so friendly. An umbrella is made from a mix of things. If we take a closer look at an umbrella, it's actually a very practical design. A regular one is usually about 60 to 70 centimeters long, while the small foldable type can shrink down to just 25 or 30 centimeters, so you can easily keep it in your bag. Once you open it, the canopy spreads really wide, around 90 centimeters, which is enough to cover you or even a friend standing next to you. The fabric itself is very light, less than 1 millimeter, but because it's made of polyester or nylon, with a waterproof coating, it can handle heavy rain. Down at the bottom, there's the handle. Some are straight, some are curved, usually about 2.5 to 3 centimeters wide, and made from plastic, rubber, or sometimes wood, so it feels comfortable to hold. About the position of each part, on top there's the canopy. The tiny ribs inside, just a few millimeters thin, stretch out to support the canopy. All of that is connected to the shaft in the middle. The shaft looks slim, only about 1 to 2 centimeters thick, but it's surprisingly strong. There's also a runner, a little part that slides up and down to open or close the umbrella. And of course, at the bottom, there's the handle that we hold. Despite all these parts, the whole umbrella is still light. A small one weighs only about 2 to 300 grams, while the bigger ones are still just around 4 to 600 grams. When it comes to the shape, an umbrella is round when it's open, kind of like a dome, but when it's closed, it just looks like a long stick. So the shape is very practical because it can change depending on whether you use it or not. If we talk about the surface, the fabric part feels smooth, but it's waterproof, so the rain slides off. The handle can be smooth or textured depending on the design, but both are made so we can hold it comfortably. The main function of an umbrella is super clear. It keeps us dry when it rains, but it's also useful when the sun is really strong, so it can give us some shade. In some cases, umbrellas are also used as accessories, like in traditional ceremonies or even fashion. Big umbrellas are even used outside for shading tables or markets. I'd like to tell you a bit about my hometown. I live in Margahayu Raya, a lively part of Bandung that many people pass by every day. Let me begin with its location. Margahayu Raya is situated in the southern part of Bandung, West Java. Unlike the hilly parts of the city, this area is flat, which makes it ideal as a main road and commercial center since everything is easy to access. The weather in Margahayu Raya is quite pleasant. It's not as cold as the higher areas of Bandung, but still fresh and never too hot. The average temperature ranges from 26 to 28 degrees Celsius, which makes walking around or exploring the neighborhood enjoyable. Just like other parts of Indonesia, it has two seasons, the dry season and the rainy season. Although Margahayu Raya isn't a major tourist attraction like Central Bandung, but it's a great place to experience the daily life of locals. It doesn't have the famous landmarks downtown does, but it does feature popular spots like Metro, a supermarket many people love to visit. You can also find plenty of food courts to hang out at. Speaking of food, Margahayu Raya offers lots of delicious choices. You can enjoy traditional meals like nasi timbel or nasi liwet with serundeng and sambal, or grab some street food such as batagor, siomay, mie ayam, or seblak. The community here is very friendly and welcoming. Most people have tan skin with straight or slightly wavy black hair, and they are known for being polite, easygoing, and warm-hearted. The atmosphere in Margahayu Raya is always energetic. The streets, especially in the evenings, are filled with food stalls and people hanging out, giving the area a lively vibe. Transportation is also convenient. People usually take angkot, use online ride services like Gojek or Grab, or even hop on a pedicab, so getting around here is always simple and flexible. If I had the chance to visit one country, I would choose Switzerland. It's a small country in Europe, but it's really famous for its nature and culture. Switzerland is full of mountains and lakes, especially the Alps, which makes it perfect for skiing or just enjoying the view. Even though it's small, the country has four official languages: German, French, Italian, and Romance. I think that's really unique and shows how diverse the country is. Some cities are also quite well known. The capital is Bern, which is calm and traditional. Zurich is the biggest city and also the financial center where many international banks are located. And Geneva is famous for hosting the United Nations and the Red Cross. So Switzerland is not only beautiful but also important in the world. Of course, we can't forget what Switzerland is famous for: chocolate, cheese, and watches. Swiss chocolate is said to be one of the best, and their cheese is used for dishes like fondue, and Swiss watches like Rolex are famous worldwide. For me, Switzerland looks like a dream destination: peaceful, beautiful, and delicious at the same time. Hopefully, one day I can visit and experience it myself. And that's how this project comes to an end. I really hope my explanation was clear and easy to follow. Doing this project has been a good way for me to practice my English, and I enjoyed sharing it with you. Thank you very much for your time and attention, and bye!